Well, you can release those baby's breaths, because this episode we're getting around to part 2 of our discussion on ADHD and relationships. An episode that was never meant to exist, but we love it just the same. We're wrapping it up on how emotional regulation impacts ADHD relationships before revealing the many positives of dating an ADHDer and sharing our personal experiences trying to date amongst the normals. When it comes to dating an ADHDer, you'll either be laughing with us or laughing at us, but either way, you'll be laughing. So let us sell you on dating an ADHDer today, because life is short, and don't you think you deserve a little whimsy?
They said that we'd grow out of it. Well, the joke's on them, that's just our brains. We're eccentric, loud, and stubborn, and most of our clothing is covered in stains. It's not a deficit of attention, there's just too much to think about. So if executive dysfunction becomes a little too much, if you forgot why you came in this room, or you're hypersensitive to touch, then put on your seamless socks and come join our little flock. Bitches stimming together, we're weirds of a feather. Weirds of a feather.
Welcome to Weirds of a Feather, an ADHD-Adjacent podcast. I'm your host, Grace. And I'm your host, Kristen. Hey, guys, what's up? It's me, and I'm here to say, I don't know why this turned into a weird white person rap. That's okay, Kristen. We all know you're a little awkward on the mic, but you can't help it, you know, and that's just who you are, and we all love it and embrace it. Oh, thanks, guys. I've really been going through a hard time lately with this self-acceptance thing, so it really feels good to be loved, you know? I get it, Kristen, and boy, do we love you, and I know just how much you love me. Anyways, Kristen and I are here to say that, as you guys know, if you listen to part 1 of this episode, which you should, to give you a little context, I guess, I mean, not that anything we ever say has much context, but it is what it is. I'm here to say that, we're here to say, oh yeah, don't forget about me. How could I, Kristen? You got the voice of Kathy Griffin. Honestly, wait a minute. Did Tracy accidentally listen to? Oh, light bulb. Did Tracy accidentally listen to an episode of me doing Kristen's Muppet voice, pretending it's both of us, and that's why she was like, Kristen sounds like Kathy Griffin. Conspiracy? I don't know. Maybe. Conspiracy. That's my conspiracy theory. And also, I'm just trying to make you feel better, Kristen. Anyway, God, what am I doing? Okay. Yeah. Oh, so last time, speaking of talking too much, we talked too much and I had to split the episode in half, which I wasn't planning to do. But once again, here we are. ADHD really has me in its grips some days, you know, and that's just the way it is. So I'm gonna, without further ado, without even further ado, is my new expression. I'm just gonna dump you guys right back into it, I think we were talking about ADHD and emotional regulation, and comorbidities with ADHD and how that can impact relationships. So Kristen's just gonna kind of like start talking, and it seems like it's out of nowhere. So there's that very drawn out context for why it seems that way. And without even further ado, here's Kristen just kind of talking randomly. Here you go. All right. See you guys. See you on the other side.
With ADHD, a lot of people have comorbidities of anxiety, depression, and bipolar.
Among many other
things. I hit the big 3. Yep. Oh, autism. Damn it.
Autism. So I read a study that said 75% of people who are autistic also have ADHD. And then I don't understand. I don't understand how it's not. I don't understand how those percentages aren't the same.
It means.
So then if you have ADHD, there's a 50% chance that you are also autistic.
I need to see this.
But then if you're autistic, there's a 75% chance that you also have ADHD. And my brain can't wrap around.
It makes perfect sense.
Okay. I'll believe you. If you okay, I get it. If you're autistic, there's a much higher likelihood that you will also have ADHD. Yeah. Whereas if you're ADHD,
there's a likelihood, but not as high as the previous.
Okay. Thanks for talking that through.
You
with
know,
me.
it's okay. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
safe
exactly
space.
why we're here, to talk through percentages and
Yep.
how they work.
Welcome to percentage.
Yep, percentage talk.
Percentages of a feather.
You're going to hate it.
Here's a weird one. Using your partner as a stim. Do you do this?
Ian does this to me constantly.
Do you use Ian as a stim?
Now I do, just to get back at him, because he will walk by
revenge
me.
stim.
He's been doing this for like 6 months now. He will walk by me and he'll pinch my weenus, which is the skin on your elbow for those of you who don't know the word weenus. But he does it to me all the time. He'll walk past me. God. It's almost like a little like love pinch, but he'll do it on my elbow. And I was like, stop it! Stop doing it! But I don't mind it, actually. It's kind of sweet.
You know what I've done to everybody that I've dated ever, even if it was like
petting?
No, I pluck out their arm hairs.
Oh yeah, that one too.
So as you can imagine, some people don't like that.
Yeah, I can see why.
With Christopher, well, I feel bad saying this, but I like to pop any pimples on his back.
I don't think you have to feel bad about that.
Or pluck out any, if he has a shoulder hair, because he has like thick, dark hair. So sometimes he'll get like a little rogue shoulder hair. Because he doesn't have like much hair on his arms in general, but every once in a while there's a big coarse one and I'll just take it. Yeah. And it's always while he's like mid-task, and I can't even help it, because once you see it, you can't unsee it, you know? Yeah. And it's not that I don't like it. It's just that it looks ripe for the picking.
Oh, okay.
And I love picking hair. I like plucking out hair. That's why I plucked out my own hair, but then I left it bald, you know?
So then you moved on to someone else.
Yeah. If I can pluck out someone else's hair, I just need to become an esthetician.
You should. You can pluck all day long.
Oh my God. And I could pop blackheads, and I could just,
yeah.
I missed my calling. Anyway. That's my stim. I could pluck out arm hair all day. And I've been heavily criticized for that. And I get it, because it hurts.
Well, yeah, that's not really a
But I pluck
stim.
out my own arm hair sometimes, and it feels nice.
Okay. I don't relate to that.
That might be more of a, what's the BFRE?
Yeah, BFRBs.
Yeah.
Body focused repetitive behaviors.
On other bodies.
Yes.
If you want your hair hand plucked out by
Kristen,
write us in at weirdsofafeather@gmail.com.
We'll send you straight to the police.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap up this emotional dysregulation, because we're already at over an hour, and we haven't even talked about the rest of our stuff.
Okay. Emotional dysregulation, the last one, and this is also seen, this is where we kind of get into like just ever so slightly dipping our toe into like narcissistic abuse and stuff like that, which we're not going to talk about today, because one, we didn't give you a content warning, but two, we're also not ready to talk about that today.
Yes, but we will do like a follow-up to this where we're going to talk more about narcissistic abuse, manipulation, gaslighting, and how ADHDers are more likely to end up in abusive relationships.
Right. So fun.
Yep.
But
so get ready for that.
We're going to talk about love bombing, which is when, especially new into a relationship with ADHD, it's almost like a hyper focus more than anything.
But like love bombing, the term I think means that you're doing it on purpose, and it's like a manipulation tactic.
Yes,
where you're showing this person a bunch of affection so they kind of get hooked, and then you slowly pull back.
Right. With like people with who struggle with like dopamine levels and whatnot. I can see how they would fall into like, you get all this like stimulation and like positive responses from all this.
And you think you're both on the same page. You think like, whoa, we're both really feeling this. Wow, we're having so many feelings and connection. And you're having that reaction because of your brain chemicals, and you're getting dopamine. You like this person, you're excited. Whereas they're doing it as a way to get you to have that like chemical dependency.
If I
on
do
them.
all that stuff, she'll like me, and then
I'll
I
have
can,
her hooked.
Yeah, and then I can like lay off,
and then I can start to like devalue her and make her like need me. Which that happened to me in high school.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that next time.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, but the difference between love bombing and hyper focusing at the beginning of a relationship is once again that intention. When you have ADHD and you're really excited about a new partner, and maybe it looks like love bombing,
right?
You have to really look at the intention. Are they doing it as a way to like manipulate you and hook you and make you
Which
really
is
like
hard
them?
to tell, especially in a new relationship. You don't know. Yeah. But that it could also present as like, texting you all the time and like always maybe like mental hyper focus where you're always thinking like, what are they doing? What are they thinking? I texted them 5 minutes ago. They haven't seen me. They haven't seen it. They haven't read it.
Yeah. It can definitely become like obsessive.
Right.
I would say.
Right. But also you have the object impermanence, which is another, this is not only for romantic relationships, but for like friendships.
Yeah, where when we're not around a person all the time, we've talked about this, where it's not like you forget about them, but well, you remember them in theory, but
yes.
like, because we can't feel time, if I'm not with someone for a few weeks, I won't necessarily feel like, oh, it's been forever since I've seen them, because I'm just like, oh, that was just the other day. And so I think that combined with the hyper-focusing can almost look like love bombing, where you're really hyper-focused on them. And then maybe either that object impermanence kicks in, where you kind of like aren't missing them as much because you haven't seen them, because you're not with them every day. So you kind of just like...
I guess with you and I, we didn't see each other for a very long time because we were at opposite ends of the country.
Yeah.
I didn't like wail around and miss you.
Yeah.
I didn't miss you at all.
I didn't miss you at all either. Because
that's weird to say.
No,
but...
well, here's what it is. It feels like when we don't see each other, time is just frozen.
Yeah.
You know? It doesn't feel like...
the second we're back together, we just pick up where we left off.
As if we've both been kind of frozen friendship-wise since we've seen each other, but it's not like you're pissed I haven't texted you, or I'm pissed that you haven't called me or whatever. It's just like, all right, now this is just like frozen in time until we see each other, and now we just pick back up.
See you when I see you.
Yeah. And so, I'm the same way, where I don't miss people a lot because of that exact thing, because I don't feel like I've even been missing them, because I forget that time has gone by.
Right. And I think for you, in my other neurodivergent to neurodivergent relationships, that's okay.
Yes.
I think for my neurodivergent to neurotypical relationship, not as much.
Yes.
And you as a person, sometimes it's hard to make that like good faith effort to see someone.
Yeah.
And to connect with them repeatedly.
Yeah. I have to do the thing where I see something that makes me think of you, and then I'll send it to you as my way of like connecting with most friends. I feel like that's what I do. It's called pebbling, I believe it is.
Oh, I pebble Gab.
Yeah.
Gab, or designated neurotypical.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, Gab, it's not that I forgot about you, but
I need something to trigger that memory of like, oh yeah, Gab, this makes me think of Gab.
Right.
Not that I've forgotten about her. I don't know. It's so hard to explain.
It's really hard to explain. It's not that I've forgotten about you, and it's not that I don't care that you're not here. It's just that you, in my mind,
you're frozen.
It's frozen. You're frozen since I last saw you.
Yeah.
And then we can catch up. See you soon.
Yeah.
So enough bashing on people with ADHD.
Yeah.
It's not all bad.
Yeah, we have good things.
There's lots of good things about people with ADHD. There's lots of good things about us. And sometimes it's really nice to date a neurodivergent. I almost said neurotypical. It's nice to date us.
Yeah, I agree. It is very
Grace,
nice to
I would date you.
I would date you.
Would you?
Maybe.
I don't know if we'd last.
Yeah, I think your strictness with money would be our breaking point. You do have a lot of rules.
I have a lot of rules.
You're very rigid about how you want things done, and I am not. And I'm not capable of following that rigidity. So, you know what, Kristen, this isn't going to work. I'm sorry.
I know. Let's just be friends.
Yeah, let's just stay friends. That's a good idea. Good call.
So there are a lot of things that are great so if you're on the market and you're like, I don't know if ADHD is right for me.
Let us sell you on it.
Yeah. All right. Number one, it's exciting.
Yep.
You're always going to be on your toes.
Keeps you on your toes.
Yep. There's always something going on.
You never know what to expect.
Oh my God.
No.
Oh God. Cue the music.
No.
Sorry.
Hi, baby.
You menace.
Oh
no. We're back.
Yep.
Sorry. We had a minor inconvenience.
A brief interruption.
Yep.
My daughter, Lucy. My dog daughter.
Always exciting.
Yeah.
Is what we were talking
always
about.
Exciting. Yeah.
I would say my relationships with people with ADHD have always been like adventurous. Like you're always up to something.
Yep.
Whether it's like, let's do a new video game, let's go on a hike. There's always a thing that you are doing.
Let's go on a road trip without planning anything out or booking any campsites. It's all a whirlwind.
Oh my God, I would vomit.
That's me and Ian.
Yeah.
Usually we pull it off. We usually get pretty lucky, except for when we don't, and that sucks. But for the most part, we've always pulled it off.
There you go.
So 2 pure ADHDers trying to schedule a vacation.
There you go.
Yeah.
This is why I don't vacation with people with ADHD.
Excuse me?
we've never been on a vacation together, and we've talked about this.
Yeah.
We should not travel together.
Well, I would vacation with you if someone else were to plan
If someone
it.
could plan it, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But the two people I travel with the most are my designated neurotypical friend, Gab.
Yeah.
And my friend, Melanie.
Yes.
Who does all the planning.
Yes.
Who shows up and has fun? It's me.
See, I don't have friends
you gotta
like
get
that.
one. You gotta get your designated neurotypical.
I know. I don't have a designated neurotypical. You took Gab.
Yeah, sorry.
So
I'm not giving her back.
Fine.
She's mine.
I'll find my own.
Yes.
Ryan.
Get your own.
Haley's husband, Ryan. Ryan, you want to go on a vacation with me?
Get your own neurotypical.
Oh, find one. All right. This is a call out. If you are a neurotypical.
You can vacation with Marty.
Great.
My God,
I'll be fun.
You wouldn't go anywhere.
No, Marty would kick me out of the car within an hour.
No, he would. I hope you like riding in silence.
I don't. I hate it. And that's why he would kick me out of the car. I'm listening to a podcast. I'm chatting.
Oh, man.
I'm pointing out animals that I'm seeing.
When we drove across the country twice. Both times we did it, by like day 4, he was just done with the podcast and we just did the whole day in silence.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. Anyway.
All right.
If you did an ADHD, you're going to passively learn no matter what you do, because you're going to get info dumped on things that you didn't care about before, but now you do.
Yeah. Or when they go through their little random hyper focus on this topic out of nowhere, now you got new knowledge on this topic.
Yeah.
And isn't that nice?
You didn't know about cloven versus uncloven hooves before, but now you do.
Or platypus is having a poison spike on their heel.
Yep.
I taught Ian that, actually. He finally listened to that episode the other day, and he's like, I didn't know that about the poison spike. Yeah. You're
going to learn about rat kings.
Yep. Oh, yes.
There you go, John.
You'll learn about a lot of gross stuff if you're dating me.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
There you go. Yeah, you're going to learn lots of things, and you're not even going to have to research it. It's just going to be thrown at you.
Yeah, whether you want it or not.
Yep. You'll probably gain a lot more hobbies.
Yep.
I taught my ex-boyfriend how to bonsai, and then he just, you know what? He recently came up on my Instagram. He's still keeping that one alive.
Wow.
I'm impressed because all of mine have died.
Well,
but
he's neurotypical, right?
I know.
So you got him started on his hobby, and he's like, great, now this is my chosen hobby.
This is my new hobby.
This is my life hobby.
This is it.
Just like with golf, you know?
He's probably going to be better at bonsaier than I ever could be.
Probably.
And piece of shit. No.
He'll just do that hobby forever.
Yep.
Consistently, because he can.
Yep.
Oh, good for you.
You must have wrote this.
Yes.
I read it wrong. I was going to say we love hard and we love strong.
Oh, I love hard. But really, we do love very hard. We get very excited about things. We're very passionate, kind of intense emotions all around, I would say. Sometimes that can make a relationship difficult, but I also think that makes a relationship really exciting and fun, because it's fun when someone gets really excited about stuff. At least I think it is.
It is.
And they'll love the shit out of you. Yeah. You know? Even if they don't always know how to show it, they will love you.
They will show it in their own special way.
Yes, like pebbling.
Pebbling.
Oh, by the way, pebbling is when you, like a penguin, you bring someone tiny little trinkets or memes or what TikToks that make you think of them.
Yeah.
It's a form of friendship that many neurodivergent people engage in.
Yeah. Rather than like having a phone conversation, they'll just pebble each other.
Or like, yeah.
That sounds super sexual.
Oh, we're pebbling each other. or like it's this, you know, it's this specific holiday, now you have to give a gift. I don't like that. I don't like feeling like I have to buy someone a gift just because it's this specific event. I want to buy you a gift because I saw something, I'm like, so and so would love this, and then I choose to get it for them, and then I've given them this weird thing that made me think of them instead of like, well, I guess it's time to pick out a generic gift. I just don't like that.
Christopher has no patience, so the second he has a gift, he'll tell you that he has a gift for you.
That's how Lily is too.
And you'll have to open it.
Yeah, she hates a surprise and doesn't want you to wait.
Let's wait till the actual day. He goes, I can't. I'm so excited for you to have this. And I go, yeah, when the suspense, it's like.
I like the suspense.
Yeah. I also like, I'm going to go in with my rules again. It's a rule. Like, I totally get your thing. I don't like birthdays. I have a hard time with birthdays. But if it's like a generic, we all do one day of this.
Yes.
So that's just a particular holiday in December. Everybody gets the thing. So it's like one big thing that's easier to remember than like, oh, there's like throughout the year, there's like 7 different dates you have to remember. That reminds me, my nephew's birthday is coming up. I got to get him something.
Ugh. See, I hate that. I don't want to just get something to get something.
Well, it's because I don't see them often. I got to get them something. But yeah, I think, gift giving is, you're going to have weird gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have ADHD, write in to weirdsofafeather@gmail.com about why it's so great to date someone with ADHD.
Oh, I got one more positive.
Oh.
You put this as one that's difficult for dating us, but I also think it's a positive, is that nonlinear thinking is we tend to be very funny and weird, and not just because of our trauma. I feel like
we are funny.
Overall, pretty funny people as a whole. I think ADHDers are funny. I think we have weird, unique humor. We say things that's like, that is not what I expected you to say at all.
Entertaining,
yes.
I would say. Whether we're funny or not. It's entertaining. It's a ride. It's a hell of a ride.
You're either going to laugh with us or you're going to laugh at us.
Yep, there you go.
But either way, you'll be laughing.
Yep.
And that's how I'm selling ADHDers.
There you go.
Yeah, let us know what you think is great about dating ADHDers, because I know that there are many more other than what we even just listed.
Right.
Because we're great.
Kind of not to wrap up, before we get into our some silly personal.
We gotta fly through this. We're at like an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh my god! I just a couple quick tips, and we kind of already touched on these, on like how to help yourselves in a relationship if you feel like, you know, nothing's going right. Like maybe it's not right, but the big thing is you gotta manage. I would say, from what I've read, all my little articles, there are 2 different things that you need to do to like help yourself in a relationship. And one is to manage your own traits, which is easier said than done.
Yep.
But if you're really struggling with something, then, you know, you got to figure out, if you're struggling with a bedtime, figure out how to do the bedtime. If you're struggling with, you know, chores, and that seems to be a big stressor for your partner, figure that out. You got to work on yourself. You got to understand the struggles, and you got to understand how, you know, what your solution is might not be the typical solution, but if it works for you, it works for you. And that kind of leads into the other thing, which is communication is huge. And that's with any relationship, no matter what. But I think especially in a neurodivergent relationship, you need to have a struggle with your partner about your ADHD, your biggest struggles with this, and why ADHD may be leading to any sort of disagreements. If it's a neurotypical ADHD relationship,
get out of it.
No,
just kidding. It's great for many people.
I think you need to explain to them more. They might not even like understand everything about ADHD. You know, they might just come into this like totally blind and be like, oh, she's so quirky, and then be like, oh, this is a problem. And you got to explain it to them. So and then they should, if they really like you, they should like do their own research too.
I agree.
Yeah, I think you need communication if it's a neurotypical ADHD relationship. You need communication if it's a neurodivergent relationship. Communicate.
Yes. You're saying that to yourself.
This is from someone who hates communication and is really bad at it, that I have to send disco man emojis to the nurses so they don't think that I'm mad at them.
There you go. Working on your curtness.
I'm doing my darndest.
Yeah.
I send lots of exclamation. Instead of saying thank you, I say thank you, exclamation mark.
Yep.
It's a change.
Yep.
For the better.
Yeah. It is a change for the better.
So that's all I got for life advice. Should you be taking life advice from me, a serial non-dater? No.
Well, you've been in a relationship for over a year now.
Over a year. This is the longest.
Is that the longest?
Oh, yeah.
You've ever been in?
Yep.
Wow.
No.
Well,
yes.
Longest, like, consistent, serious relationship.
Yes.
I would say, at least.
Yes.
Like, adult relationship.
Yes.
Well, hey.
Pat on the back to me.
That's big. If you've never done it before, and now you have.
No. I think for a while there, I was really trying hard not to, but here I am.
Yep. Weaseling its way into your heart.
Into my dead cold heart.
I'm not going to say I have a perfect relationship, but I do think that Ian and I, you know, after almost 8 years of being together, have developed quite a good working relationship with each other.
Yeah.
And really, I feel like a lot of these things just kind of like happen over time, you know, as especially with another ADHDer, you're going to run into all these problems and all these things that you didn't even realize were a problem, whether it's, how you communicate things or how you want things done. And maybe you think you're not rigid about things done, how things are done, but then they do something differently than you would do it. And then you're mad.
That's my big struggle. I guess I feel like, how come everybody else hasn't been doing this all the time?
Yeah.
I just feel like this is the way that it's done, but apparently it's not.
Yeah.
I have some unlearning to do on myself.
All right. Very mature. Yeah, I would say my biggest piece of advice for dating an ADHDer is really just on top of working on your traits is acknowledging your traits. Ian, not to throw you under the bus, he always thinks he does things a lot more frequently than he actually does them. And lately he has been doing a much better job of looking at his actual behavior and being like, oh yeah, I guess I don't really do that all the time like I think I do. And for the longest time, that was so frustrating for me because it was like, let's find a way to do this. Let me find a way to help you. But if you're not acknowledging that you're not doing this thing frequently, then the conversation kind of ends there, So I feel like being aware of our own traits and things that we struggle with is really important because then you can kind of work as a team and ask for help and find ways to kind of support each other. But if you're just like, no, I don't have trouble with that. I don't do it. I don't do that. That's going to be really frustrating for a partner.
For sure. It's kind of a dick move too. If you're like, no, everything's fine. Everything's good. I don't know why they have a problem with my behavior.
Exactly. It's all their behavior. Right. I feel like with
not saying that Ian's a dick. It's just
he's a dick. No, I mean we both do it, where
I am the queen of being like, what I'm doing is fine when it's like completely neurotic behavior.
Yeah, it's like no one should be doing it to that degree. Just take a step back.
And I kind of wanted to end the show with just chatting about some personal struggles with dating because isn't that fun to talk about?
Yeah.
I think I have been in a lot more, I guess when I first started dating, I had one big relationship that ended on very poor terms and kind of dictated how I dated until I met Christopher, which is basically after that relationship ended, I kind of went on a series of situationships or just flings, living my life to the fullest. And then, most of those people I would say were neurotypical.
Yes. Yeah. For you, well, other than obviously.
That was so much of a situationship.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it does seem like you dated a lot of neurotypicals between dating like finance bros in Boston.
Oh man, that was my dream for the longest time. Is to date. I don't know. I think I wanted the status.
Yeah.
I wanted to be invited to a fancy finance party and wear a fancy dress.
Ugh, sounds like my nightmare.
Well, now it's like a nightmare, but at the time, because at the time I was like, this is what everybody should want, right?
Yeah, I think you were trying to date a lot of normies who wouldn't be able to like appreciate who you are at your core.
I think I was trying to be a normie.
Yes.
And now I've like stepped into my, if I could talk to myself in my 20s.
You've embraced your weirdness.
Yeah. I think for a very long time I tried to like fit into a category that was not me.
Yes, I agree.
And
you had the worst time dating.
Yeah, I had the worst time. Oh man, I have so many fucking stories.
Not that you can't find a happy relationship with a neurotypical if you're ADHD.
No, but it's also just like people in Boston are assholes.
Yeah, neurotypicals can also be assholes, just like ADHDers can also be assholes. And
people in Boston are assholes.
Yeah, and you are at much more of a risk.
No, I met lots of nice people in Boston.
Yes.
But most of those people weren't actually from Boston.
You are at much more of a risk of not being understood and seen, I feel like, if you're an ADHD or autistic person dating a neurotypical. Because their brain just works so differently than you that if they're not a kind, understanding, caring person, then they could very easily just like not really see you.
Right.
And that's what I felt like. I dated quite a few neurotypicals myself because I had a similar sitch where I dated a sociopath in high school going into college. And then after I finally was able to get away from him, I dated a series of neurotypicals who, this might sound mean, but they're kind of safe choices.
Yeah.
Because
I did date a safe choice for a very long time.
Yeah. Because I didn't feel that whirlwind, like hyper focus, huge rush of emotions. This is giving me so much dopamine. And it felt more like, all right, this person really likes me and I like them kind of. And this is someone to hang out with. And I don't have to like worry about getting absolutely crushed. And this sounds really terrible, but it was almost like I could be in more control because I didn't have that like, I love this dopamine, give me more feeling,
I think, so when because I did do a very long series of dating safe choices. Yes. And I felt like, well, I don't not like him.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's fine.
We get along.
I don't not like him.
We're buds.
Right. But honestly, it was kind of like, if I got ghosted or if they like broke it off or if they cheated / saw them on Instagram with someone else that looked like it was like a serious thing.
It wouldn't like rock your world.
I mean, the cheating thing, that kind of was upsetting, but like, you know, it was kind of like, yeah, we're together, but if we broke up tomorrow, I wouldn't be upset about it. Should you be in it? Like,
yeah,
is that bad?
I'm not gonna say it's bad because I did the same thing, and it is what it is, and it's a response to us being like irreparably damaged by these terrible men.
Yeah.
It's not great to do to someone else, you know, I feel like.
Right.
But also, yeah, it's not like a conscious thing of I'm going to make this safe choice and then I don't have to worry about getting super heartbroken. It was more like a safe choice came along and it was like, this feels nice. This feels like I could do this. I could make this work.
Sure.
Yeah. And then, yeah, a big thing that I ran into was just after a couple of months, I would just get really bored.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, consistency, honestly, for me is really boring. If, you know, like I dated someone who... It's funny to talk about this like this is a bad thing when really like this is a good trait for him to have as an adult. Every week he would go to the grocery store and he would spend $50 and he would just like get what he needed for the week, and it wasn't an issue. It wasn't like, oh, I really want this treat, but no, I shouldn't. It was just like he goes in the grocery store, he only picks out exactly what he needs, and it's not like an autism thing where you're eating the same thing every single week. It was like he would have different meals.
Clip coupons? The day I get my grocery bill under $100.
I think he did have coupons. Exactly. First of all, it's like, how the fuck did you only spend $50? And then he would have like meals out of it. He would get like a chicken and get like a whatever. And it would be different every week. And somehow he would spend $50. And I'd be like, I couldn't walk into the grocery store wanting absolutely nothing, like having nothing planned to buy and spend less than $50.
For sure.
I would spend $50 on just things I see that I want. Right. Every single week. He would never, ever get carried away and be like, oh, I really want this treat. Nope. Stuck to the list, $50. And that to me was like, this is so boring. What's wrong with you?
Who the fuck was that? Oh my God.
Yeah. Just like, and that's so funny to make fun of that as a trait because like, he's right. That's good for him.
That is a good financial decision.
Good money management. But for me, I was like, what is happening? Because it makes me feel like a child.
Honest to goodness, did he clip coupons?
I think he did. I think he had coupons. I
need to learn how to clip a coupon.
No, I barely make it to the grocery store as it is.
You know what I've been using is so we switched grocery stores, which is kind of a big deal. We switched from Hannaford to Shaw's.
Do we have time to tell this coupon story right now?
No.
Okay. Let's save it for later.
I know how to clip coupons online now.
Oh, there you go.
I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, if I could do it online. But it was and it wasn't just the grocery store thing. It was like that with everything where he was just, and not in like a strict.
There's no spontaneity.
Yes.
God. A little bit.
There's no impulsivity. There's no spontaneity. It was always like, well, let's just be practical and reasonable. Like it was funny when I started dating Ian, because when I was dating this other guy who was neurotypical, if I would be at a store, we'd be at a store and I see something and I'm like, oh, I really shouldn't buy that, but I really want it. He'd be like, well, let's think about our budget and do you really need it?
Let's do some simple calculations here.
Yes. Whereas when I started dating Ian, I'd be at the store and I'd be like, I really shouldn't buy this, but I really want it. He'd be like, do it. Get 3 of them. Get 10 of them. Let's do it. Let's buy a bunch of them. So
we'll get one for every member of the family.
Yes. So that for me at first, I was like, whoa, what is this? This is fun. But then after a while, I'm like, all right, this is pretty enabling though. We both can't be like this. Yes, because we both are like that.
Right.
So I feel like a balance is key. But yeah, dating certain neurotypical people, it just didn't bode well with how I go through my life. So it got boring pretty quickly, I would say, because there wasn't that spontaneity that I really kind of need to keep things fresh.
Keeping it fresh. Yeah. And then going on like excitement and spontaneity and stuff like that. I feel like sometimes when I have been in relationships with neurotypicals, and Grace, you've experienced this too, you are very much like the source of entertainment and fun.
Yes, I am the main act.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes that's exhausting. Yes. You can't be on all the time.
Exactly. And
sometimes
it's kind of
you need a quiet moment.
Oh, yeah, either you need a quiet moment or you want someone to play off of you.
Right.
Like, I don't want to just be performing my silliness for someone else.
When people go up to, I'm sorry, I interrupted.
That's okay. Keep going.
When people go up to comedians and they're like, oh, you're a comedian, tell a joke.
Yeah, make me laugh, clown.
Right? And you're just like, that's not how that works.
Yeah, I need to be in the moment. I need to like get this, give and take with the crowd. I need to, like, there's so many different elements to being funny, not just like be funny now. And I do feel like Yeah.
And people who say that probably don't understand humor.
Yes.
So
they probably wouldn't find it funny.
yeah.
Yeah. That's another thing is I feel like as a whole, we kind of have very different humor than neurotypicals. And so it depends.
I think we just think differently than they do.
Yes.
And I think we're able to come up with different things that are funny that they probably haven't like thought of before.
Yes, maybe because they're not also having that non-linear thinking,
right?
Where we say something and they're like, "Oh, that's so funny," as opposed to like playing off of it and adding your own weird thing and kind of taking it to the next level, which is what I feel like happens with neurodivergent brains.
Right. I'm also not saying that neurotypicals are not funny. There's plenty of people who are funny.
Yes, I don't want to say that.
This is
sorry to any neurotypicals listening. We're not trying to bash on you.
It's more like, you can be funny.
I guess you can be funny. Not as funny as us. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just maybe to other neurotypicals.
That's what I'm thinking. It's probably like a neurotypical thing.
It makes sense. Whereas our humor is fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
And I can totally see people being like not even understanding that's a joke.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I actually, sometimes I say things and people ask me, oh, that was a joke. I was like, obviously, it's so bizarre. Why would it be?
Yeah, of course it's a joke.
Of course it's a joke. I'm actually kind of concerned that you thought I was for serious for a moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like that can happen to us where our senses of humor don't line up and our style of how we like to joke about things or have conversations or build on things. It doesn't really like flow in the way that we like it to, you know? But yeah, and you and I were talking about this earlier where we can either be like the main act of our relationship where we're kind of the funny man and then they're kind of just like the crowd.
Right.
Or they kind of like not idealize us, but they kind of make us into that like sideshow entertainment person who's there to entertain, but they don't actually like us as a person. Like they think it's funny until our traits are the kinds they don't like.
Yeah.
And then they're annoyed by us. And it's like they don't actually like see us fully. You know, they only want us to be on when we're entertaining or when we're fun.
If you
or
can't handle me
spontaneous.
at my best, you don't deserve me at my worst.
Yes.
Is that the saying? No.
If you can't handle me at my worst. There's one of those expressions.
Yeah. And I just want to say again that this has been Grace and I's experience from dating, from me as a serial situation shipper and Grace as having many.
I had a lot of relationships.
You had a lot of relationships. I had a lot of situationships.
Yes. But I was blowing through them.
Yeah,
you know?
I know. You were.
Like,
I remember.
Bored, on to the next thing.
I remember when you went to Australia and you got a boyfriend there. And Taylor Pye goes, oh, would she meet him on the plane?
No, he lived across from me in the dorms.
You had a lot of relationships. You always had a boyfriend, and I always had I don't know what this is.
Yeah. But I also got bored with that one in Australia real fast because, sorry, he was a rebound after my sociopath relationship. Anyway, talk about that next time.
Yeah, next time. I have a word of advice from my own personal experience.
Yes.
Never date a finance bro.
Oh.
It's never going to go well. They're going to make you feel like shit, and they're not going to respect you.
They'll probably say shit like time is money a lot, hustle
culture. They're going to try and get you to do intermittent fasting.
Rise and grind and pound that sand.
Yeah. And I want to say to all the finance bros that are probably not listening to this podcast, the burden of proof is on you. Prove to me that you're not a piece of shit.
Yes.
Because from my experience,
you are.
You are.
And when we say finance bro, that doesn't mean anyone in finance. It means a specific type of person
know who you are.
Is in finance and also a bro.
Yeah. You gotta fit both categories.
Problematic.
Yes. Let me know.
Yep.
Reach out to me at weirdsofeather@gmail.com. Are you a finance bro and not a piece of shit?
Yep.
Tell me about yourself.
And I do want to tack this on at the end real quick, as much as we're shitting on dating neurotypicals. Yeah. Haley's husband, Ryan, as we said, is neurotypical, and they have a very healthy, loving
He's in
relationship.
Finance, not a bro.
He's not a bro.
Not a bro.
We love Ryan. He's a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna get him on the show at some point because we want to kind of talk about this more.
That money, baby.
No, I want to talk about relationships with him and what it's like for him to date.
I thought we were going to talk about money.
I think we're going to do 2 different episodes, but we wanted to talk about relationships with him, what it's like to date an ADHDer from the other end of things.
We should have booked him.
We'll book him. We'll book him. This is just kind of like laying the groundwork, and then we'll get Ryan in here, and then he'll, tell us what it's like on his end. So yeah, there are many ADHDers who do have the same, the right personality or interests to develop a really meaningful, deep connection with someone who has a neurotypical brain. But from our experience, It's just more difficult to find someone who, like, sees you, I guess. Who really, and who
That's
you don't.
been our experience, but other people have had different experiences, and Haley can attest to that since she's dating a neurotypical.
Yeah, and very happy.
Yep.
And I feel like you can more easily end up in that parent-child role when you do date someone who is able to spend $50 at the grocery store every single week. It kind of makes you feel like a child. So, yeah.
That just, like, blows my mind. First of all, that was before inflation.
Yes.
But
he would do that with everything, and not in like a I have money trauma and I must hoard as if this is the Great Depression way.
Right.
More in like, I'm just going to casually stick to my budget. Boring.
Oh my God.
Snoozo.
It's just like casually sticking to a budget. That is just like not.
That's never going to be me.
That's never
And
gonna
if
be
you want me
me.
to do that, it's not going to happen. So we should just break up now.
Yep.
And we did. All right.
This has been
Something.
Weirds of Feather, an ADHD-adjacent podcast.
Yep.
I hope you liked our show today, all about relationships. If you're in a relationship, good luck. If you're not, stay single. No.
Yeah.
No. If you're looking for love, I hope you find it.
Yes, same.
And if you're not,
I hope you don't.
I hope you don't find it. Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want it.
You don't want it.
So don't find it.
Yeah. Get a pet.
Yeah. All right. And we will do another episode at some point where we will go more into that abusive dynamic of, being
gaslighting, narcissistic personality disorder.
Yep. Because we both have experience with that. And it's such a fun story to tell.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we also do want to get Ryan on eventually to talk about his side as a neurotypical on relationships. And, he's in a wonderful marriage with our friend Haley.
Yes. And we want to have Haley on again and maybe get both of them in the studio to hear about, because we're
going to need more microphones.
Yeah. We need more mics to hear, just their dynamic together as a whole. I think is really interesting because Ryan is he thinks all of Haley's traits are just, very quirky. He thinks that they're like charming and sweet.
The world of Haley.
I know. He adores her.
Like the cutest
So if you are going to date a neurotypical who can appreciate and love you for your
don't
ADHD
date
traits.
assholes.
Yeah. Whether they're neurodivergent or neurotypical, don't date an asshole.
There you go.
All right.
Problem solved.
All right, let's wind it down. You can email us at weirdsofafeather@gmail.com. You can follow us on all the socials at weirdsofafeather.
Watch out for polls. They come on Mondays-ish.
Yep, and that's it.
All right.
And now
let's get to our bod.
Yeah, we're going to fade out as we do our bod.
Bod for you. This was a reference from our last bod. We said we were going to do this. So this is the Owlet Nightjar.
Nightjar.
The real name is Nightjar for people who want to look this up later. So it is a cousin of the tawny frogmouth.
Did you see that Russ posted a picture in the Facebook group of a tawny frogmouth at his home?
Unfucking believable.
It's so weird to just see that at someone's house.
It's like a real thing.
Yeah.
Not just something we imagine.
Well, I knew it was a real thing. It's funny to see that bird at someone's house because we would never see that here.
Okay, so the Australian owlet nightjar mainly rests in holes in trees. Or crevices. Yeah. And especially the eucalyptus tree. Oh. And they think it's because that it has like a beneficial insecticide.
Oh.
So, fun fact.
That is fun.
Yeah. Let's listen to this bird call.
Let's hear it.
It's almost like a seagull.
I know. Gotta get that gurgle. Yeah, that was good.